Hello, everybody. I will introduce something about myself first. I'm Minh, a fundraiser of An Dương. I work here for almost 6 years. Today, I will take you visit the project in Mekong Delta, Vietnam. I am signed up before of the An Dương office, so I would like to introduce something about An Dương office. An Dương office is a local NGO. We work here from 2008 until now. Uh, but in fact, before 2008, we started with name Vietnam Love in 2004, and to 2008, we changed to An Dương. So An Dương is at An Dương, we have the mission that is to help the poor people to improve the capacity and to help them to improve the economic and second mission is to help the children keep going to school to get a better life. At An Dương, we work as the teacher of Lao Tử, the philological of China. That is when we come to the community, we learn from them, we love them, we start from what they know, and we build from what they have. And then they complete something, they will say, we did it. So that time they have enough experience, enough skill, so they can do themselves to earn more income and get better life. At An Dương, we have 21 staff. All An Dương staff are Vietnamese, and they were born from Vietnam and grow up in Vietnam. So they have the good background about Vietnamese, and as well as the culture, the needs and the difficulties of local people. They also they have the love of local people, and they spend much time, about 80% of time, to community, to survey and to learn from them, to understand what the community needs, and they survey and suggest some model to help the people. Today, I will introduce to you about the project that An Dương support the community, and we also will visit today. The first is the job creation program. That's a program to help the woman have the job to earn income at home, close their children to take care of their family. And the second is to the micro-credit program. This means the poverty reduction program. That's a program to help the people improve the capacity and improve the income. And the next program we will see is scholarship program. This program to keep the children studying at school. I would like to introduce to you our vice director, Mr. White. He also worked here for more than 12 years, and he also Vietnamese, of course. So Mr. will show a video clip about Mékong Plus.
The vast majority of the poor Vietnamese lives in the rural areas. For many, agriculture is no longer enough to survive. About 10% of the population survive with less than $0.50 per day. Mékong Plus helps thousands of very poor households. Advice for health and hygiene, scholarship for children, training and microcredit to increase their income, like growing vegetables, raising eels, chicken. All this requires little capital. Mékong Plus has also started several handicraft programs. For example, Mékong Quilts. Over 300 women have been trained for quilting. To become a good quilter takes several years. It is very technical, and Mékong Quilts has achieved the highest quality standards. Quilters work in a happy atmosphere. They can share their worries and ease. Completing one quilt takes from 1 to 4 weeks. They have generally doubled their income and work near their home, close to the children. Every week, over 100 quilts are delivered to Ho Chi Minh City. Encourage the quality check is done products are accepted. The others are not paid and sent back. No time can be wasted as more and more quills arrive every day. It takes a lot of time and space. Once the quality check is passed, the quills are shipped to the 8 shops in Vietnam and Cambodia. This order is for delivery. The quilters receive new orders and new designs to make for the next month. All fabrics are prepared for them. The shops in Saigon, Hanoi, Phnom Penh, and Siem Reap generate profits. All profits are sent back to the villages. The development programs are so more sustainable and they do not depend entirely on foreign donations. The health program in schools covers 64,000 children. Mékong Plus supports health, education, agriculture, employment programs, all low cost and with high community participation.
Hello everybody, I am Sai, a fundraiser of the New Center. Today I will take you to visit Mrs. Nga Creating Group. This is Miss Nga, the leader of Creating Group. This group has 9 members, and in Mekong Delta we have 3 creating groups with total 33 members in the total 33 members. And they make the product based on the order custom and the design from the Mékong Plus company. And the average income of each member before the pandemic is about 100 euro per person per month. At the present, due to the pandemic, they don't have enough work to do, so they come decrease a lot. They come about 50 euro per person per month. Yeah, Mrs. Nga, in the pandemic, they only work. They only make 2 types of products. This is blankets and mask. This one they will make 20 blankets. Mrs. Nga, the leader, take the responsibility on receiving the material. And transfer the product to the Mékong Plus company once a month. This Nga will divide the material to the group members. Then she make the quality check after the product. The group leader will stay here for work about 30%, and the other time they take the material to their home to work and look after their children and their child. And the group members, they live around here. The forest member is about 70 kilometers from here. Before the pandemic, we have some shops sell the products in Hanoi, Da Nang, Ho Chi Minh City, etc. But now we grow on. Now we sell the products online on Facebook and website. And why we implement this program here, we implement this program with 2 main reasons. Firstly, this program is to have the 20 women who have time to still but traffic in the area. They can work and earn more income for the family while they take care of children. Secondly, this program is to raise the voice of the woman in the family, because most of the income in the family depend on the husband. Women just stay at home doing the hard work and taking care of the children. They cannot earn the income, so the husband later on to decide on the activity and the we hope the Vietnamese will oversoon so Mékong Plus can sell the product, the woman can have more work and more income. Yeah. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Thank you very much. Now the floor is yours, all participants. If you have any question, you please feel free to add any question. For the first project.
Okay, thank you very much for your time for watching video. So the first thing I would like to say thank you all of us take time to come with us now, and I would like to talk more about why we organize the virtual tour for all of us. So normally we have many campaigns to raise funds for our activity in Vietnam. So because of the epidemic, so many activities, many campaigns were canceled. So we think many ways to raise funds for us, and we also want to introduce our activity to our friends, to on the brand, to understand more about what we did with the community. So that's why we organize this tour when we hear about Korean and Vietnam talk about the tour for visitors by online. So normally every year in Mekong Delta we organize about 10 to 15 tours for visitors from abroad, overseas, or from Vietnam. So that activity to help us introduce our activity to rent to many companies, many visitors understand us. But now we cannot do that. So we organize by online. So thank you very much for coming here. And because we have some problem the first video, so maybe sometimes some people will miss information about An Dương. So I will talk shortly about that. So currently, An Dương works in 5 villages of Mekong Delta, Vietnam. And in An Dương, we have the mission is to help the poor people improve their capacity to implement good model to get more income for themselves, and to help the children go to school, keep the children at school so they will get the better life, the better future. So currently, An Dương has 21 staff. All the staff were Vietnamese. So they have the good background about Vietnamese, and they also have the love of their community, and they also have the good knowledge about their difficulties for the children, for the families. So they spend more time in the community, so they have more understand about the community. Okay, so now any question for us?
Yes, I have a couple of questions, if I may ask.
Yes.
Before other participants may ask you other question. Yes. First of all, I would like to know about their skills, because I see that the skills look very beautiful. So will you have the program to train them, or how they reach the level to make that product look that beautiful and nice? First of all, second, how much they earn per month based on your project, and will that earning enough for their family? That's my curiosity.
So for your question, I would like to answer your question with the design. You set up the design beautiful because they make the product based on the design from the in the Mékong Plus company. We have the group. They can in Europe in some here, and they design the product. the products, and then the design, and then they train for the train for the month, and the leader train for the group member when they come back. And besides with the income they can earn before the pandemic, they can earn about euro per person per month before the pandemic.
Sorry, how much, please? Because that 200 or 100?
100 euro per person per month.
Yeah. 100 euro per month.
Yeah.
How long does it take for them to make that kind of product? How long does it take?
Quill. Yeah,
Correct.
with the quill they can make to 4 days. The quill, the big quill, and people they work together for 4 days.
So it means there will be a group work for one queues. It means several people will work on one queues.
If they can take and also they can take the material, but it takes more time,
Okay, and how many queues? It means for pieces. 4 days to make one pieces. What to make one piece? It means to make one queue. It will take them 4 days. Am I understanding correctly? Okay. Good. And how is the how we say that scale up that kind of business? You focus on one region only, or you have the plan to do it in several regions? Do you understand my question? Now your project focus on one part of Mekong Delta.
Yeah.
Do you have let's say plan to multiple that kind of model to other region in Mekong Delta, or you simply just focus on one region?
We would like to expand to more, but you don't have enough jobs for now, because in Mekong we aim for 100 women. We don't have enough jobs for women. Not expand to another region.
Okay, so it means we don't have enough buyer to buy the product in order to give them more job. Do I understand you correctly?
Yes.
Yes. This is the point. Actually, Mekong Quilt is working in 2 more provinces, but in the Mekong Delta is the main one. And the main issue to create more employment is to sell more. The more we sell, the more women we can employ, and the more work we can give to the women.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to ask again. So through which channel you distribute or to sell your product? Is there any reason why we cannot sell a lot because it's too expensive, or because it's not much demand, or is there any reason?
Answer this question from.
Yeah, maybe I will join for this question. Actually, we had before the pandemic, we had 4 shops, 2 in Cambodia and 2 and even 3 in Vietnam. But with the pandemic, we were running heavy losses, no customers, and running a shop is extremely expensive. The rent here in Ho Chi Minh City, for example, is more than $5,000 just for the rent of the shop. So it's extremely expensive. And when we had less customers, we were forced to close the shops and to focus on in online sales. So right now we invest a lot more on Facebook, website, email marketing, etc., which we have increased a lot, but it still does not compensate for the loss in from our shops. So what we do now, we have free shipping worldwide. So we are selling more and more to the US and to Europe as well.
Thank you very much. I will give the floor back to the other participant. Is there any other question? Please.
Yeah.
I had some question for Sang or Nin. I've noticed there's no sewing machines in your production area. Is that something you intend to use to lower the cost of your product?
I will answer this. Actually, you know, the main cost is labor. The main goal of Mekong Quilt is to create jobs for the women in the villages, right? And the fabrics actually is not much. The marketing is more expensive. Basically, you can say it's 1/3 for labor, 1/3 for materials, and 1/3 for marketing and shops, etc. So the lower the cost is extremely difficult. In fact, quilting is extremely labor intensive. As Shang just explained, to make one baby quilt is about 1 week for an experienced quilter. A big quilt, double bed, may take 1 month. So it's very labor intensive, and therefore, you know, we don't want really to reduce the labor cost, because the goal is also to increase income for the woman.
Okay,
But
my concern is just the price might be too high for some segments, customer segments. And if you can reduce the price and probably double the production, then it could probably help gain more market and increase the income of the workers.
actually, not really, because the women, they are not paid a salary. The quilters, they are paid on a piece rate basis. So if they work more, they get more. If they work less, they get less. So increased volume in sales will allow us to employ more women, very good. But the quilters themselves will not have more income. Well, they may have a more regular income. Actually, you are right that we are quite expensive. You know, one quilt double bed, for example, will be $200, $300, $400. So it's not everybody who can buy a quilt. But right now, during the pandemic, we have done very active, aggressive promotions like free shipping and discounts and so. And what we observe is that more and more local customers from Cambodia and from Vietnam also can buy. However, this decreases our margin, our profits, and Mekong Quilt, has, high fixed costs like the shops, and we cannot afford to lose money, because losing money meaning that the NGOs have to subsidize Mekong Quilt, while the goal of Mekong Quilt is actually to subsidize the social program, the other way around.
Okay, thank you very much. If that's your value proposition for a hand-woven quilt, then it probably adds value to the buyer. But I've been the manufacturing for 18 years, and I could see so many productivity improvements that could be done in several areas of the operations of quilt that would improve the revenue per associate or revenue per person involved in the operation. So that's my point of view. Anyway, thank you very much for your answer.
Thank you.
Is there any other question?
Hi.
Yes, please.
Okay, hi, I'm me. Okay, I have a question. Actually, how you encourage the community, especially women, to join to work in this industry? Okay, as we know, they might be busy by taking care the household matter or other things.
Shang?
Sorry, I cannot hear you well. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, my question is how actually you encourage the community, especially women, to work in this industry, as we know that the women also sometimes they quite busy to manage their household matter or other thing.
Not actually, this is not the problem to encourage the woman to join. Whenever there is an opportunity, there are many more women who want to join that we have options for them. We would like to for more women employment, but there is just not enough work for everyone. When we do a training, often you have a woman sitting outside waiting to see if there is any opportunity to join the group, but we can only let as many women in the group that we can sell through the shops. The women are very eager, actually during the pandemic, because our sales are down, therefore there is less work. Many quilters have lost their job, and their income has been reduced by more than half.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any
So obviously, the problem in your business model will be that the how we say that the output is mean how many people will buy your product or service, your product. Do you have any plan to enhance the how we say that the selling product or any program or any kind of research in order to increase the sales of the product?
Yes, we have two complementary strategies for this, but it's not perfect, and we are always looking for more ideas. And this forum today may bring some new options, I hope. One strategy is to focus more, is to widen our market with the Vietnamese community. Actually, about maybe 5 million Vietnamese are quite well off. They have a standard of living quite comparable to the Western American standard. So they have money to spend. And if they are interested in handmade products, which is a bit new, but Vietnamese who have traveled outside of the country, who have been to Europe, who have been to the US, and so they understand the value of handmade products. So this is a growing market, actually, the Vietnamese, the local Vietnamese. The second option is to diversify our product range. Quills are wonderful, they are very beautiful, but how many quills can you keep in your house? This is basically for the bedroom. So you have 1, 2, or 3, and then that's it. And they are they are very dependable. They will never worn out. So that's probably in your lifetime you will buy just a very small number of quills. What you will do probably is to make a gifts, presents to your family, or when there are newborn babies in the families, you will buy, a baby quilt, that sort of thing. But it's still a small, it's not a frequent buy. So what we are looking at today is to use our skills in quilting to make fashion clothes, because people maybe will buy clothes 3-4 times a year, while a quilt they will buy maybe every 2 or 3 years. So it will be more frequent for them to buy fashion clothes, and the margin also on clothes is much higher than on quilts. So this is what we are looking at. But of course, as you may guess, the competition is terrible today. So many companies are running out of customers. So you have everywhere in Vietnam and in Phnom Penh as well, discount 50%, 60% for very well-known brands. So for Mékong Quilts to start with a new brand is quite a challenge.
Thank you very much. So it means there are some competitor who also do the queues similar to what you're doing.
Well, yes, actually there is no copyright in Vietnam, so people come in the shop, take pictures, and they try to do the similar quilt, but the quality is not there. When we aim at a very high quality, and this is also, one reason why we cannot reduce the cost. You can do a rough work, but it will never be the same. The one problem is that many customers actually do not understand about the quality. people from Anglo-Saxon countries like Britain, UK, Australia. There is a tradition about quilting, so they know about the quality. But people from France, for example, or even more from Vietnam, they have very little idea about the quality of a quilt, and therefore they don't understand why our price should be higher than the competition. So there is very little competition actually for Mékong quilts about the quilts and bed covers.
Bernard, you were saying that there is three different costs of your products. 1/3 is actually from the materials, another one is from the labor costs, and one more is from marketing. So which one do you think that you can actually reduce? Do you actually talk with some people where do you get the supply of your materials? Because we had similar project here where we are doing batik painting. So the materials actually come from the factory itself. So we bargain in terms of the price of the materials. What is your take on that?
Yeah, regarding the fabrics, we have a very wide range of products, and therefore many, if you have seen the shop that we just visited, many sorts of different fabrics and designs and quality, etc. So it's very difficult to buy in volume. And we don't have a very high bargaining power. What we can do is to buy from the market in Ho Chi Minh City, in Phnom Penh, sometimes in Bangkok when we could travel, or in Chiang Mai. That's about it. Where there is definitely a scope for reducing the cost is in the marketing part. If we can sell more online and increase the volume, then the marketing costs will go down. When you have a shop with a rent of $5,000 plus 3-4 staff and all the other costs, you need to sell a lot to just to cover the fixed cost. Online is cheaper, of course.
I may have one suggestion. You may contact, or maybe later on, I will ask my college from Economic University to use the Mékong Q at case study. And then the student will work on it in order to create, or let's say to give some solution how to enhance the sales of the product. I think with that, you can do two things. First of all, to create the awareness amongst the people, because the student, when they work on the case study, they understand about your project better. Second, with their, how we say that, fresh and they're intelligent, they can give you a better, how we say, the solution in order for you to have a better strategy in order to increase sales of your product. I saw that one of my college, Miss Chum, she's the lecturer from School of International Business and Marketing. She may contact you a little bit later after the program. Maybe we'll write case study about Mékong Q, how to enhance the sales of the product. That could be an idea.
This is very good. Thank you. Excellent.
Thank you very much. Any more questions?
If there is no any question, and then we can come to the next project. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Better. You share wrong, right? Hello, Bena.
Hello.
Nghe được không?
I am.
Bena
May I
share
ask?
lộn cái share wrong file.
Không có share cái file.
May I ask?
Yes.
Can you hear me? My voice?
Yes, please, Miss Karin.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Teresa. My name is Karin from Yampi team. I want to ask to business owner regarding the condition of COVID-19 pandemic in your business sector. Are there any obstacle or difficulties that are different before pandemic coming, and how
Yeah.
to solve it? Thank you very much.
Mình trả lời không?
Yes, challenge or obstacle in your industry, if any.
Cái này, this Bernard can answer this because this is the plan for the company.
Okay. So
yeah.
yes, obviously during the pandemic, you know, the borders were closed, and the main market, the main customers for Mekong Quilt, more than 80%, 85% are foreign tourists. So all of a sudden, we lost 85% of our customers, right? So this is why one by one, we had to close all the shops. First, we had to close Siem Reap because it's so dependent on tourists. And then we started closing also Hanoi, Phnom Penh, and the last one is in Ho Chi Minh City, because we still have a number of foreigners living in the country who are quite happy to buy a few. But after more than a year with closed borders now, you know, these customers, I think they have bought what they wanted. And now our focus is really on foreign markets. And this is for the last 4 months now, we have a promotion with free shipping, which is quite successful. That means that you can buy, you know, a quilt from Vietnam in the US. You may know that the quilt in the US is $1,000, $1,500 at least. So we are about 4 times cheaper in Vietnam. So with the free shipping, we are very competitive. It might be expensive for people living in Vietnam, but it's very cheap for people living outside of Vietnam.
Okay, thank you very much for your quick answer.
Okay, so should we continue the visit?
Yes, please. Thank
Okay,
you.
now we are going to visit one household which we helped with a scholarship. And microcredit.
Bernard, the Korean you say is not right. Can you change?
Mr. Bernard, you may check your sharing file. Maybe it's not the correct one. Thank you very much.
I don't know.
You share the wrong file, Bernard.
No. We are now visiting the mushroom farm.
I know, but you choose not the player to show. You choose another Korean to show.
We could not see your video. We should see the yellow chat, your yellow chat. So you please check.
Stop sharing screen first, then
Yes.
select again the video.
Correct. Thank you.
Can you see now?
Not
yet.
Is it okay?
Yes, it's okay now. Thank you.
Hello again. Now I'm standing before the mushroom model, and now we will start. We missed 2 videos. The family with the mushroom model, and this is the contact camera here. This is the family the family that under support for microgrant and scholarship as well. So I will use some information about the family. The family has 5 members, include the couple and 3 daughters. And the youngest daughter is just 5 years old, and the oldest daughter is 17 years old. She just graduated, has just became the graduate last month. So now she waiting for the results. So she also has the dream when we survive the family, and we contact with her, and she said that she's very happy when receive scholarship from Anjun support scholarship for her from 2017 until now, and many times we visit the family, and we know her to dream that she wants to become a teacher. So that's why she studied very hard, and she tried to get the good results, and she wished she can study at the university and to get a better job in the future to help the family. And she also worry about the future very much because if she study at university, so the family will pay a lot of money for her school fee, for her daily food and many things. So she's scared about that. So we know that. So besides support scholarship for her, and we also support microgrant for the family. Currently, the family receives microgrant at Circle 2 with 180 euros for growing mushroom and vegetable. So look at the house like this. Many house, this is typical house in the rural area in the Delta. This is the poor family. She has no land for growing crop, but fortunately, her aunt support her because her aunt so old cannot work hard on the field. So she gave the land for me to growing crop. So I work on the field, and sometimes if the labor some labor, so we also go to work as laborer to buy more. Look at the field again. This is mushroom model. This is the main model. He can earn more income for the family. With this model, the farmer can reduce the chore to produce mushroom and earn income from the rate of the bad getting field. You know, after the farmer harvests the rice on the field, so all of the corn in the past and the corn use the grow. So we apply to grow mushroom like this. Possible with 300 broad of chore, we must invest about 1,000 euros to form on investment. So after 2 months, he will harvest, and he will harvest in 1 month. During the month, he can earn about 1,200 euros for total profit. So that means he gets benefit about 200 euros for benefit after 3 months. With this program, after they harvest on mushroom, the chore will be used again to reduce fertilizer. It will become organic fertilizer for feeding for the tree, for growing vegetables, and so on. So do you have any question?
Yes, there is one question from Dr. Seri. You said that you dry straw for mushroom material. What type of mushroom?
Men trả lời đi.
Yes, sorry, I'm turn off my video, my micro. So this mushroom is growing from the straw from the bedding field. So there are many kind of mushroom in Vietnam, from the straw, from the tree. So we show generally mushroom. This kind of mushroom is how can you say that? This black, đẹp, sorry, đẹp nó cái nhiều loại nấm á, mà mình cũng
Yeah.
không có phân biệt được
Actually,
cái ngành.
Actually, these are local varieties, and it's mainly for the local market.
So do you have any photo of the mushroom which you produced?
Yes, in the video we just showed before, there was the lady selling mushroom. Do you want to see it again?
So that is the main product you produce.
Right.
Thank you. How many family total are in that region to produce such kind of mushroom? And can you produce such kind of mushroom the whole year round, or in the certain time only?
For produce mushroom, so they can produce all the year. So some season there's good time for produce mushroom, but some season is the price is too higher than other season. So on the year they can produce mushroom. How many family produce mushroom is depend on the kind of the wind, and depend on the market. So I don't know exactly how many family in our vision, but about 10 to 20% they produce mushroom, not too much.
Okay, so what is
if I may add, actually it depends very much on the paddy harvest, right? Because you use the straw from the paddy. When you harvest the paddy, then you have the straw, and then you can produce mushroom.
You cannot reuse it, or the straw
No,
can you one?
Just for one harvest.
Okay, you cannot even reserve it.
No, it's after harvesting the mushroom, you can still use the mushroom and the juice coming out of the straw as compost.
Okay, so what is your how we say that the selling channel? You go to the market, or you sell to the main distributor, or how is the selling channel organized?
Normally the farmer will sell their products into the market, but when they produce too much mushroom, so they call for businessmen come to take.
So what is the role of your how we say organization in order to support them to coordinate it?
So they can directly for themselves. So we just support them the technique how to grow mushroom, and we also support them the microcredit. And so after they harvest, they will sell directly themselves. If they need some help, so we can introduce some businessmen for them. So then they also connect themselves.
Okay, so it means your organization mainly just support them by introducing the technique to grow the mushroom, yes. But all relating to logistics, farmers have to do it themselves. Do I understand it correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so is there any, let's say, are they happy with that, the farmer, or is there anything they need help in order to grow more mushroom and to sell better or to be more competitive? Have you have any research relating to that, or is there any support in that direction to the farmer?
So because we have the limit of staff on marketing and to organize the logistics for the farmer is so difficult now for us. So we have the experience to help the farmer produce their mushroom. With the farmer, they have basic network for themselves because they already do that in the past and until now, so they face many difficulty by capital or they need to learn some capacity to learn some knowledge and improve their capacity so they connect to An Dương to Mekong Plus to help them. So that time we come to help them by micro credit and technique and they very happy to get the micro credit from us and that's what they wish that's what they need for from us.
Okay.
If I can add here, the focus of An Dương is to eliminate poverty. So what we really focus on very small farmers, people who have half €1 or €1 per day per person. This is our main target group, and their main issue is capital. You know, they cannot go to the bank. The banks are only interested to give big loans. And for the banks, you need a lot of paperwork. You need to have a lot of land that you can, provide as collateral to the bank. So poor people have virtually no access to cheap credit. And if they have to go to the money lenders, the interest rates are very high, 50, 100% or more per year. So our program to eliminate poverty is basically with microcredit, low interest rates, and coaching so that they don't have technical issues. One technical issue which is becoming more and more important is that because of climate change, seawater is penetrating far inside the Mekong Delta, and the paddy straw is damaged when the paddy straw has been touched by salt water. Is no longer good for mushroom. So this is another technical issue for the farmers.
Thank you,
Mr. Kevin. Hi, Mr. Kevin.
Yes.
I believe you are signing from both devices. You are using two devices, right?
Yes.
You can mute either one, so it will avoid any echoes to our meeting.
To avoid any echo, when we are not talking, you please mute your microphone. And then
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that you have the right screen. Okay.
Sir, okay, I have a question. In your opinion, is there have any option to replace this paddy straw, as we know that the paddy is the seasonal plant? So what your suggestion or what your opinion about this?
When can you answer this? I have no idea how you can do that.
I hear not really you what opinion about what?
Okay. Since you use the paddy straw as the substrate, right? And then is there any option to replace this straw, as we know that the paddy is the seasonal plant?
So in the past 10 years ago, so after harvest the rice, the bedding field, so the farmer usually burn the straw in the field. So after that, they have more carbon, maybe more carbon on the field. That's it. So that time they have no more income from the waste of the field. So when the technique of growing mushroom introduced to them, so they apply and they earn more income from the straw. So from that time until now, many farmers they can sell their straw if they don't grow mushroom, so they can sell their straw to other to another farmer to grow mushroom. So that's the way to improve their income. I think this is also the good way to save our environment. If we burn more and more straw, so more carbon will release to the environment. So it's harmful for our earth. So I think this is the best way, the good way for farmer as well as for the environment. After they harvest the mushroom, they also use the waste to produce organic fertilizer. So this is really good fertilizer for the tree, for the vegetable. We can grow many crops from this fertilizer.
So actually, how many times you can recycle this substrate? Is
I
it
think
just
until now they can use 2 times until it become fertilizer.
So you can use it 2 times. Now the question will
Yes.
be that is there any solution to replace it after 2 times of using? And you no longer have the straw in order to grow the mushroom. Is there any plan to replace or any kind of material to replace such straw in order to continue to grow mushroom whole year round?
Do you have a source of sawdust? That's one substitute.
Sorry, what did you say?
Sawdust for substrate. If you have a source of sawdust from lumber yards, you can use it as substitute for rice straw or wheat cereals, but I don't think you grow wheat cereals in Vietnam.
No.
Yeah. But usually sawdust is used in the Philippines when they have source in the lumber yards.
Gary, can you type that name on the chat room and then Mr. Meng can understand the material?
I think there's
Sawdust.
no issue about using the paddy's straws, right? Because how many times do you actually harvest paddy in Vietnam and in Cambodia? Because I think the substrates for growing mushroom can be used for a couple of months, right? Because the harvesting periods of mushroom can go up to about 4 months. Ideally, I'm talking about because we have some projects on mushrooms here, but that's from sawdust. So I like the technology that you use because you are using everything that is in there, and the technology is also very simple because it is very low cost in comparison to sawdust. Because sawdust you have to pack into plastic materials, and then you have to put in the spores. So what I understand from what you have done is on the field, and then I assume that you probably have some seed. Mushroom seeds that you sprayed on the dust, and then it is covered so that it creates the moisture, right? Because mushroom needs the moisture for it to grow and a bit of darkness. So I think this is a very good technique, and it is very environmental friendly. You use everything that is, the whole cycle is actually recycled by itself because you got the materials rather than burning them. You got materials that to actually grow mushroom. So the farmers have 2 incomes. One is from the rice, and a mushroom is a very high nutritional value. It has very high protein, so that will also provide protein source for the family, and in excess they can sell. It's a complete cycle. I think if the project escalated to bigger scales, I think what you should also be thinking is on post-harvesting technology, because you might have excess of a lot of mushrooms that you sell yet that's not able to be sold. So you need to look into post-harvesting technology, where if the mushroom can be dried, or if it's dried, you can actually sell it to other places, other regions, not just as a fresh produce. And I'm sure there's other parts of the world who would also want to buy, if that can be post-harvested, or it can be desiccated and it can be dried and sold to other parts, and the prices will also higher in prices. So that's my opinion. A very good job. I'm very impressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
In the
you very much.
region, you have 2 or 3 crops of paddy per year. So
Yes.
straw is quite available. And
Yes.
regarding post-harvest technology, there are several companies within the region, very close distance, who are doing this packaging and exporting, etc. So it would be a bit of a challenge for a small NGO to compete with them.
Or
Yeah.
you may teach them to produce kind of the bio product, because nowadays a lot of Vietnamese, they care about the bio or organic product. How do you think about that?
Yes, in our areas, some farmers also learn about the organic product. So for produce mushroom, they also build a net house. So then they produce mushroom in the net house. So that time they will no use for more fertilizer, more chemical. So the product is more friendly with the environment. So good for health, but not too much until now. So I think in the future, when the customer asks more about the healthy product, so more farmer will practice that. And as for example, for growing vegetables in Mekong Delta, we also introduced the net house model for many farmers. So when one farmer they succeed with their net house model, so they expand themselves the model. So until now, in our areas, there are three farmers. They expand their net house to produce vegetables. That's one of them from our project. The first time we introduced net house to them, to the family, and then they harvest many times in a year. So then they expand to roam 100 meters for the first net house. Then he expand into 500 meters, and then after that he also expand more to 1,000 square meters for growing vegetables themselves. So then another village they also copy the net house for themselves. So I think that is the good thing for the organic product from now and for the future, and mushroom as well, I think. Yeah.
So what are the challenges for this project?
So the challenge is the budget. So they must invest more budget to do that, and the main thing is the customer. Currently, the customer not many customer not see the difference from the organic product and the normal product. So they will ready to pay the same price for two of that. So that's why the farmer they have not too much interest to produce organic mushroom, because they will share with the same price with normal products. some supermarkets, they already sell the organic products with very high price. So when the farmer can send their products to supermarket with the good price, so that time the organic products will be improved.
So obviously, the most challenging thing for the farmer is the connection to the
market.
let's say to the market. So that
Yes.
I think that where the organization can support them in that regard.
Yeah.
So is there any
Yeah.
strategy with your organization will support, or your organization mainly focus on producing them with the microfinance? And with the microfinance, normally how much per family you provide them, and how can they return the money to your organization?
So normally we support the family with the first microcredit is from 80 to 130 euros for first time, and then after 5 months or more, depend on their model, so they will refund to us. And then if they expand their model, we will expand the microcredit for them. But maximum until now, our budget is limited, so we maximum is around to 180 euros for the family. Yeah, 180 to 200 euros is maximum for us because we have not enough the budget for all. So if some special case, we for example, we want to introduce the good model to the farmer, we will support more for the model.
The question is
So
how can they return the capital to your
Yes.
organization, or that 180 to 100 euro is for free? That is my curiosity. You finance for free for the first time, or you lend it to them and later on they need to pay back that loan to you?
Yes. Yes. The first loan is free. We will support them for free for two times. So then at the third time they will pay some interest. It's 0.05%. 0.5% for interest in from the third loan. So normally after they borrow microcredit, they will use to invest for their model. Maybe after 5 months, they will harvest their model. Then they sell and then they have money, and that time they refund to us. So 99% farmers can refund to us on time. There are only some rarely case they own their model. So that time we also have another model to support them. If they have not enough money to refund to us, so they can divide many times to refund. So we have many ways to support them. Some special case, they leave their house, they leave their city, so we wait for them.
Just a question, Min. What's the success rate, and how many are defaulting in the loan? Because the learning curve is a bit difficult, and sometimes in the first cropping you lose everything since it's susceptible to contamination.
Sorry?
How many are defaulting in the loan, especially for the startup? Because there's a learning curve, and the mushroom production is susceptible to contamination, such that the first crop sometimes gets spoiled and thrown away.
Yes, not enough. So because we this program is micro credit program, So we just support very, very little for total investment. So maybe our budget, our support is only one of cost or less than that. So the main thing is from the family. So currently at Mékong Plus, we support about 1,800 families receive microcredit from us. So it's hard to support enough for the family for the first time. The first time is very difficult for any team, but that's how we spend more time to work with the family. We must to train them how to use the loan and how to invest for the model. If they have the experience, so we will check how they do that. So then after 2 circles, they have more experience, so they will be paid some interest.
If I may add here, actually the refund rate is very high. We don't have any problem. Some people are a bit late by a few weeks, but otherwise, really defaulting, not refunding, is about 1 per 1,000, less than 0.1%. So the default rate, it's not an issue. Why? Because as Min explained, we focus on proven techniques, small investment, low risk, and quick return. So within 5 months, the people can harvest and they can refund the loan and go for a second loan. And we start with a small loan first, and then by steps, we will increase from 80 euros to 100 and so on. By steps, we will increase. The first few loans are just interest-free because these are extremely poor people. These people are about the 5% poorest farmers. So actually, they are extremely keen to refund. If they fail, we know they had a technical issue, and we try to assist them with maybe a second loan. We try to prolong the refunding time, but they are extremely honest because basically Anyang is their last resort. They are so poor, nobody is willingly not refunding. Okay. Well, I want to answer also a little bit about the organic agriculture. We focus on the very poor, and therefore, we are reaching basically about 5% of the people. That's our target. And these people are very scattered, scattered apart. They are not in one cluster. They are very far apart from each other. Therefore, also their production is very small units far away. And for marketing, it's actually very efficient to use the local merchants and the local processing factories in the region. Because if we want to reach the supermarkets, etc., they want volume. And volume for us is very expensive to get because, some farmers are 1 hour apart by motorcycle. So it's too expensive. One thing for Vietnamese farmers, they use a lot of chemicals, far too much, extremely chemical agriculture. So the way we can convince them is to show that actually they are wasting money. By using less chemicals, they can save on production costs because the sales price does not vary very much. The customers in the rural areas, they're not very much aware about organic products, clean products. If you have clean vegetables, you sell before the others, but you sell at the same price. You sell first, but you sell at the same price. So organic agriculture, you can promote by showing to the farmers that actually they are saving on costs and that they are protecting their soil.
Thank you.
Kevin, you gave a good note in terms of there's mostly small producers or farmers. My question for me, do you have cooperative there where small farmers can sell to the cooperative and the cooperative could deal with supermarket for them to be able to satisfy the volume they require?
Because the farmer which is very small. They have very small model, so they cannot sell the product to the supermarket. So they must sell in the local market or some
Yes,
businessmen. They will
yes,
come to take. Yeah.
yes, I understand. In the Philippines, they have this organization called cooperatives of farmers. They run the cooperative organization themselves, and because they produce very small quantity, when they join together, say 50 farmers, then they have enough volume to satisfy, for example, supermarket needs, and it's easier to negotiate on one by one basis when you have that kind of organization.
So
I
the
met
areas, the farmer so delivery in the last area in the Kolkata. So there's some cooperative company, but that's not the customer, not our customer. We support the poorest. They are very poor, so they cannot attend to cooperative like you mentioned in Philippines. So they normally they work themselves. So I think the cooperative is very important now because they have less import. So they must connect together to bigger. Yeah.
And you have to understand the history of Vietnam, where the people were forced into cooperatives not so long ago. And they hated it. They were extremely unhappy. And because the production was imposed, the prices were imposed, everything was imposed by the local government. So the farmers were extremely unhappy and the production was very low. Actually, Vietnam was hungry. But in the late 80s, they reformed this and the farmers became free again to produce what they wanted, to sell what they wanted. And so today, you know, in their culture, they still have that bad memory of cooperatives and they don't like the idea.
Yeah, that's too bad because the middleman will take advantage of this, and that's another layer of cost. The middleman can buy from the small farmers, and they're the ones going to negotiate with the supermarket. So maybe it will take some time, but I think that's the future for small farmers to organize themselves again and sell as one in supermarkets or big customers.
From my point of view, it is about trust. That's why people when people joining any organization or any cooperative, they need to put their trust on it. So do you think, Mr. Bennett, that you create because you are the organization who provide let's say providing microfinance to the farmer, you also be the one who, how we say that, coordinate, let's say the products, and then to contact one, how we say that, let's say supermarket or any organization who can distribute that kind of product directly to the buyers. Is there any strategy for that?
Not with Sanyung or Mekong Plus. I don't know of many initiatives in Vietnam in this direction for the reasons I mentioned, right? Lack of trust and bad souvenir, bad experience with cooperatives. One problem we have for us is that we focus on the very poor. We are not, you know, our project is not about mushroom. It's not even about agriculture. It's about eliminating poverty. So we focus on a very small number of farmers, and they have very small units, production units. So their main problem basically is, microcredit, scholarship to keep the children at school, health issues, etc. But production, they are very, very small. And because they are very small and they are very few, they are far from each other. It's difficult to build trust between farmers who belong to different villages, to different communes, who are far away from each other. In the past, we had the microfinance program following the Grameen strategy, with groups, savings and credit groups. But this we had to stop because now the banks are very aggressive in Vietnam and they provide a cheap credit, and therefore only the very, very poor, the 5% very poor who cannot provide the collateral, who don't have the trust, self-confidence to borrow big amounts from the bank, only these people are actually left aside, and these are our target group.
Thank you very much. Is there any other question from the crowds? The floor is yours, please.
So if no more questions, so Dana can continue.
Yeah, we will now visit a biogas farm.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Bernard, in our program, there will be kind of the break in between. So good afternoon, everyone, and good morning, everyone. Are you with me now?
Yes, yeah,
Very
ready.
Yes.
Yes,
So
we're here.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
thank you very much. So we can start now. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
So we go to the biogas farm.
Yeah. Hello, Dana. We cannot hear.
Why not?
You not share sound.
Oh my God. Nghe không?
Not yet. Chưa nghe. Chưa nghe âm thanh.
Nha bà
Chưa nghe âm thanh. Chưa nghe, làm lại cái clip bioga từ nay. Chưa nghe.
There is no sound. Could you please check?
No sound?
Yes, no sound. We
No
couldn't
sound.
hear
So-
anything.
So, okay, I will share the biogas video first.
Can you hear now?
Not yet.
You may stop sharing, and when you share, kindly click the lower left portion for the sound.
Poor rural areas. In the cities, we have shops to sell our quilts and other handicrafts.
now?
Development and environment are very much connected. The villagers spend a lot of time and money for firewood. The
okay
women
now?
cook in deplorable conditions.
Yes, there is sound.
The animals are the big polluters, They produce methane gas, 21 times more dangerous than CO2. Biogas is a good solution to both problems. Pig manure follows the drain down to this long plastic tube. After 2 weeks fermentation, the methane gas moves to the reservoir. A simple bottle of water acts as safety valve. With 2 pigs, there is enough gas for a family. The kitchen is clean, there is no smell from the pig stall. We have installed over 1,000 biogas already. Each one makes our planet save 1 tree every single month.
Hello?
Hello, Dina.
Yes.
Can you continue your video with Sang?
Yes.
Việt Nam mà
Nghe sao?
Con nghe không?
Giờ chưa nghe.
Dạ không, vậy nè, chưa nghe.
Nghe không?
Dạ không.
Chưa nghe.
Oh,
Mày đã vô 3 chấm phía trên đấy.
I don't know what to do.
Ở phía trên chỗ xe nào á? Mày đó.
Yeah.
Ở phía trên chỗ màn hình xe màu xanh xanh đấy. Có dấu 3 chấm bên tay phải Việt Nam bật lên rồi share sao ở dưới đây nè.
Share sound.
Yes.
Ở đâu? Ở đâu? Không thấy. Không. Ở đây.
Dạ, ok.
Cây góc bên
Dạ,
trái,
ok.
cây góc bên trái.
Rồi, bây giờ là chỉ lại hay sao?
Mình mới share.
And a lot of time and money for firewood. The women cook in deplorable conditions. The animals are the big polluters. They produce methane gas, 21 times more dangerous than CO2. Biogas is a good solution to both problems. Pig manure follows the drain down to this long plastic tube. After 2 weeks fermentation, the methane gas moves to the reservoir. A simple bottle of water acts as safety valve. With 2 pigs, there is enough gas for a family. The kitchen is clean, there is no smell from the pig stall. We have installed over 1,000 biogas already. Each one makes our planet save 1 tree every single month.
Hello again, it's me Sang, and I will take you to visit Mr. Ong's family in Thon Biogas system. And 7 years ago, Mr. Ong raised a lot of pigs and released manure fish to the river, and the neighbor they complain a lot. So then our village worker they come here and acquire him to install the biogas system and introduce him some the benefits of the biogas system. There are some benefits of biogas system as follows. Firstly, they help to reduce the pollution from the manure of pigs. The traditional way people raise pigs and release the manure of pigs to the river. And secondly, to help people, villagers save costs and save costs from buying firewood, charcoal, or industry gas. Total, they can save about 70 euro per year for industry gas. And next is with the biogas, where there will we will have no smell, no bad smell from the pig tone. And not least is after 3 or 4 years they can use the organic from the manure pig after 3 or 3 or 4 years. And follow me to see the biogas system. The biogas system including 2 bags. The first bag contain the manure pig, and the second bag they will contain the methane gas. The first bag they gum the manure pig, and the water will come the tube go to the first bag, and then about 15 days to 20 days they will reduce the methane gas, and the methane gas will leave by from this side they go to the second bag. The second bag, and this bag they contain the gas, and from the second bag they have another pie they lead to the kitchen. Đi vô đây này chị. Cho xin đi vô thăm nhà bếp luôn nha. And from this pie they go to the kitchen. And here we also have the safety one to reduce the register if the register is higher. Yeah. Yeah. Follow me to see the kitchen. Bộ bật lên luôn đi. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions? Do you have any question about biogas system?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how many years would you recover the cost of installing the system?
You mean we have the full to cover the cost, right?
Yes, recover the cost of installation of the equipment.
No, we just support total cost of this biogas system is 60 euro. We support them 12 euro. Also support them the technical how to.
No, the answer, Shang, is about 1 year. It's about 60 euro investment, and the savings in 1 year is about 60 euros. So after 1 year, you have recovered your investment, and the biogas system will last about 7 or 10 years before it has to be replaced.
That's quite good. I've seen the what type of material is that the gas? I don't know what to call it. The balloon. Is it a canvas rubber material where the gas is contained? Yeah.
Chang?
We can buy the material at market.
It's
the gas tank. What is it made of? It's not metal. It's
just a plastic. I don't remember the thickness, but it's some farmers will have 2 layers or 3 layers, but it's just a plastic sheet. And the pipes are just ordinary water pipes.
Okay, yeah, because I maybe that's cheap and easily replaceable, because
yes,
I don't think that plastic would last 2 or 3 years.
No, about 7 to 10 years.
The plastic? Wow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
the material is very easy to buy from the market. It's very popular in any market you can see. So if the farmer they protect well, so the plastic can be used in 10 years or 12 or more. If no one trees to took it, so it will be harmed. But if the farmer protect well, so they can use for a long time.
In some regions, one problem is rats. Rats bite and destroy the plastic. So this is an issue. And in some regions, they prefer to have a concrete tank, under the soil. In Cambodia, we have another issue is that animals, contrary different from Vietnam, the animals are wandering free. There are nuts in the pig store, but they're just walking around. And some, they fall on the plastic tube, on the plastic bag. So therefore, also in Cambodia, they tend to prefer a concrete tank.
Yeah, it's interesting for me to see a plastic tank. It's first time I've seen. Usually it's either concrete, plastic, or steel. Anyway, I think the payback of 1 year is quite good. It's a very attractive proposition and saves a lot of greenhouse gas.
Other questions?
Okay.
How many farmers they join this kind of program or they use such kind of technique?
Yeah. In our project, we more than 1,200 biogas systems in our.
So in our areas, there are many farmers installed the biogas system, but in our project, An Giang, until now, An Giang support about 1,300 farmers to install biogas system. Besides, An Giang support them, so the farmer also install biogas system themselves. With the big farm, the farmer have the big farm, so they install the biogas system themselves by concrete tank. Yeah.
So it means they produce their own biogas system, the biogas to cook. Is enough for the family, or they still need another kind of the energy in order to cook?
With a farmer, if they raise for pig, so it's enough for use for gas for cooking. So sometimes it's plenty, too much gas for cooking. So that's why we install a safety one. The one we put into the water when the pressure too much, so it will be released into the environment. So it's very safety for the house, for the tank. So if a farmer they raise more than 4 pigs, so they can share the gas for the neighbor, the close neighbor. They cannot live too far away. So the gas is very okay. Sometimes if they stop for raising pigs, so that time they need to buy firewood or another gas. If they continue to raise pig, so they continue to have enough gas for cooking.
Is there any way to store it, or no way to store that kind of biogas?
We just can store on the plastic. Low pressure, we cannot put it in the bottle.
Because we only install a small tank for small farmer. If for the big farm, I think with the big farm they can store, they can save the gas, they can use that for commercial. I think they must have the modern engine to do that. But the small farmer cannot do that.
Yeah, it's very difficult to compress methane, that's CH4, you need a pressure vessel, a metal, to compress it, and I think it will not be cost effective if they do that. So the best way really is just to vent it, the excess gas, in case there's more gas than what is needed. Yeah.
The installment fee, 60 euro per one installment. So
Very
that,
cheap. Yeah.
yeah, very cheap.
Very
And
cheap.
that
Yes.
amount is you provided to the farmer for free, or you answer will take the money back.
We provide them for free, not we just tell euro, and we provide free, not right encouragement them, not and we not get back.
Well, the farmer will pay for the system. We will give them a small incentive, but it's not a loan. Okay, so we help them a little bit for the technical side, but in fact now so many farmers have installed the biogas already, so there is very little support needed from the project. And so they can buy all the materials, the pipe, plastic, the cooker, everything you can buy easily on the local market. So it's nothing complicated. The weak side of this program is that you need to raise pigs continuously. You cannot just stop. And when market prices are not good, poor people, they don't continue to feed their pigs. They cannot afford to feed the pigs. And if you don't feed the pigs, the system will break. So the biogas system is really good for middle income or high income farmers who have at least a sow and a few pigs, but not for small farmers who are just raising from buying piglets and for meat and fatten them for meat. This will not be good enough for them. They cannot maintain, they cannot sustain the system.
Thank you. Is there any question from the crowd?
Just one
Yeah.
more question about safety, because it's made of plastic and it can easily be damaged. Is there any safety incidents so far in the 1,200 installations?
Yeah, it's very safe. We implement it. Yeah, there is no accident. So also the gas is very low pressure.
It's good. Yeah.
If the pressure is high, we also have the safety one with a bottle with when the pressure is higher, the water, the bubble and from the bottle to release the gas outside. Yeah.
Can I ask? Can I ask whether it seems that all the biogas is only meant for cooking? Is there any other usage of the biogas? Because they could be. You was talking about excess. So is there any other usage beside for cooking that can be extended? Maybe.
Yes, when the pressure is enough, you can use it for light also. But electricity is very cheap, and very few farmers use it for light.
Is there any question?
What is the challenge that you face when the first time you want to start this project? And also the second question is it need the modification of the gas when you want to cook, meaning that the place to cook, is it you need to modify?
Will answer. Okay, no, the gas you can use it just as it is, as it comes out from the gas tank. No transformation is necessary. Now, what challenge? I think the biggest challenge, as you know very well, the market price of pig meat is fluctuating so much from 1 to 3. So when the pig meat is very, very low, farmers tend to stop feeding their animals, and then the biogas system will stop. And if it lasts, if this lasts for long enough, the plastic will break. So this is the one challenge. What we would have liked to do is actually to organize many biogas farmers in a sort of a cooperative and join the CO2 market. You know, that if you actually have a system to reduce the CO2 in the atmosphere, you should be able to get some subsidy. But we have failed because the production is so small, and organize several hundreds of farmers, biogas farmers, for this CO2 compensation has proven to be impossible.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Is there any other question?
Okay, so we'll continue the visit. I hope I will be successful in sharing the screen this time.
Thank you.
Okay, where is the sound?
We continue the bridge program.
Okay, so here we go. Can you hear the sound? Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
The Mekong Delta offers beautiful landscapes, but for the villagers, the lack of roads and bridges is a serious problem.
Cái nha, thì nó đặt 3.000 ở đây cũng 28, 29 có, bị lúa thốt đâu. Chứ còn nó cũng chơi dịch vì vô đây thì nó chi phí xăng dầu, phải chuyển ra ngoài cái lộ cái ngoài đó, ngoài sông cái ngoài thì bán thì nó cũng chơi dịch 100-200 bạc, thay vì đi tới lui thì cũng xăng cũng vậy, thay vì bây giờ nó vô tới chỗ nó mua chơi dịch 100-200 bạc mà điều mình
Đừng tê nha. Most often there are only monkey bridges, too dangerous for the young children. They miss the school. Mékong Plus helps the villagers to build small bridges. One small bridge costs 1,000 euros. Mékong Plus contributes for 250. The rest is covered by the villagers.
Nước phải cho xi măng, mình làm thành cái lộ. Thì bà con mình đó, bà con mình ở nông thôn nè, cho con cháu mình nó đi học á.
The roads must be elevated so that they are not submerged by the monsoon rains. At the same time, one dredges the small canals. This is very hard work. The peasant goes under the muddy water. Once the mud is well compressed, one adds a layer of broken stones, then the cement. Altogether, 1 meter costs 5 euros and Mékong Plus covers 1/4.
Như tôi nói thiệt, nhà tôi hen bây giờ đi chơi người đó chứ xe máy hen đậu từ đó vô buồn rồi, dưới này đó là 2 chiếc xe Honda, 4 chiếc xe máy nữa. Còn hỏi với con cháu mình không rồi bây giờ sao giờ cái lộ giờ mình rồi thành ra bây giờ tôi cũng muốn đi đâu đi hen, tôi mượn đứa nào đó cũng chở tôi đi hết trơn.
ngay nhờ học sinh rồi qua lại dễ dàng rồi đó là toàn là đi đưa rút con em học sinh luôn. Còn các cái đường giờ đó bên này qua là cũng đi nhờ cái đường này thôi.
Where there is no bridge, the people cross by boat. The poor can hardly pay. Now the villagers have done their part. The government has promised a bridge here. This boat carries the paddy. The farmers now get a better price for it. The bridge makes also the motorcycles save 15 kilometers of detour. The grocer has probably lost a few customers. She was selling at a higher price than on the market. Now the people compare with the village market and bargain.
Hello, can you hear me?
Nhỏ quá anh Minh.
Yes, yes,
Can you hear me clear?
yes.
Okay. I'm standing on the monkey bridge. So you just watched the video about the monkey bridge. It's many difficulty for the local people when they cross the river, and also there are many dangerous for the children and the old people. And so you can see it's very difficult to cross in the river with the monkey bridge like this. Fortunately, I am a farmer. I live in rural area, so I can go this bridge. Not too bad. So you can see in the rural areas in Mekong Delta like this, there's many places, the river is everywhere. So some remote areas, so the people, they must use the monkey bridge like this to cross the river, because they do not have enough the budget to build the concrete bridge for traveling. So it's very difficult for them. So that's why Anh Dương implement the project that is to support the local people to build the concrete bridge or concrete road for them. So with each concrete bridge, Anh Dương support about 1/3, but maximum is about 600 euros for building the bridge, and the remaining cost is contributed by the local people and local government. If they also need more budget, so they can call from the donors, other community. For the bridge, you can see over there, many places there, many houses over there. If they don't have the bridge here, they must go around, go very far away here to get another way to access here. So as our calculated, if we build a bridge or a kilometer abroad, so the local people will save a lot of money. For example, with a bridge, they can save about 1,000 euros per year after we use the gasoline, time for traveling. So, for example, this road, also the concrete road, it look like the road support by Anh Dương. When we choosing a place to building road or bridge, we also consider where, how many people live around here, and how many children, how many market, or is it far away from the planet center or school. So we chose the place near that place first, and then we will choose another one. With local people, when they suggest the idea to build the road or bridge, so we will meet in together to discuss how to build, how much people can contribute, and how much local government must call for. Here you can see there's a motorcycle can travel easily on this road. Before, they must use the bus to traveling around here. So it's very difficult for local people to carry the products from the field to the market. So as you watch on the clip, the farmer cannot choose the price. The businessman will give the price, and the farmer must approve. They cannot choose. So now, if they have the road like this, so the farmer can bring the product from the field to the market to the customer easily. So they can sell the products with higher price as well. They also go to the market, so they can choose many products from the market for their use. So they also buy with the better price for something. If they leave house, the boss also bring some products to their house, but the businessman will sell them with higher price. So because they cannot choose, so they must approve for that. In the rural areas, especially the children, some place the children cannot go to school because of the difficulty of traveling. If the parents need to send the children to school, they must use the boat to bring them from house to school, and the parents also stay there with them, waiting until the children finish the classroom, and then they take the children back home. So it spends a lot of time for children, for parents. And some bigger, some taller children, they can use the concrete, the monkey bridge like this to go to school. But that's for the taller, very tall children. So with the smaller children, they cannot go the monkey bridge like this. It's dangerous for them. So that's why this program is welcome very much from the local people, and they suggest us many places to support the bridge or concrete bridge. But now we can because of limited funds, so we must choose the best place first. Until now, An Giang support about 260 concrete bridge for local people and around 180 kilometers abroad for people. Yeah, thank you very much for watching the video now today. And if you have any question, please let me know. Thank you. Welcome the question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minh. Is there any question from the ground? So I would like to ask a couple of questions. First of all, relating to building a concrete bridge. Is there any, how we say that, paperwork which we need to discuss and get the approval from the local government in order for you to be allowed to build that concrete bridge? Or you can do whatever you want? That is my curiosity.
So the first thing is from the needs of local people. If the local people they need to build any bridge, they must discuss with the local government. So then they suggest to An Giang and suggest to the local government to build that bridge, and then An Giang staff and local government and local people have the meeting together to discuss what to do. So if the local people have some budget but not enough, so An Giang will support the last one. So if that time they have no budget, so An Giang will suggest the how to do. So the first An Giang they must make the design, how much to build that bridge. So we divide the budget to many people. So for An Giang, for local people, for local government, if the local government and local people and An Giang not enough for that bridge, so they must call for to another donor. They must notify to the community, local community, or some brand So that when they have enough the budget, so they will start to do. For I also mentioned about the contribute from the local people. So with the poor people, they not to recommend to contribute by money because they're very poor. So they can contribute by their labor, by their health, by their work. So with the richer, the normal family, they can contribute by money. So normally one 10 euros or 5 to 10 euros or more, depend on the family. And the local government also have the small budget to build that street. So they gather in the budget and then they start to build. We cannot decide ourselves because what we do is for the local people. We must discuss with local people, with local government. Yeah.
How easy is it when discussing with the local government, and how can they find you? The farmer, they find Ánh Dương organization in order to express their wish.
It's easy to discuss with the local people because they already have the need. So they also before meeting we also have already approved together how much to do that. So when we meeting we discuss more detailed things to do. It's also easy to find Anh Dương because Anh Dương has the network people. We have the local people live around the community. That we call the worker, local work, the network worker. So when the local people have the idea to build a bridge or road, so they will call for to Anh Dương staff, the colleague with co-worker. Our network will contact to Anh Dương staff, and then we come there to survey. And when Anh Dương staff go to survey, we also ask the local people go with us, the local government go with us to survey, and that time Anh Dương staff and local government also have some suggestions to do. So it's very easy to organize the meeting and very easy to approve together to do the contribute and building some bridge or road.
So, am I correct that all of the project Mékong biogas all in one region?
Yes.
This means all of your project you applied in one or two region and the bridge is built also for that region. Am I correct?
Yes, you almost correct. We currently Anh Dương work in 5 villages of Mekong Delta in Hậu Giang province of Vietnam. So we also have another partner in the middle of Vietnam. So we mentioned here in Mekong Delta only. So on our project, we mentioned from the beginning until now is in 5 villages of Mekong Delta of Hậu Giang province. You're right.
Okay, Mékong Plus is working in the 3 different regions. One is the Mekong Delta, with Anh Dương as a local partner. And then in the center of Vietnam, about 400, 500 kilometers from the Mekong Delta, with another local organization. And then the third region is in Cambodia, with a Cambodian local organization. But all the programs that we are discussing today are within the same region in the Mekong Delta, and the approach is actually integrated development, because we believe that everything is important, like microcredit, techniques for agriculture, bridges, health, education, gender issues. We think there is a good synergy by doing everything together in the same region. Of course, it takes a lot of time to build such a program. but An Yeung has been working in that area for 18 years now. And they have total 60 people working on the project, of which 38 village workers. So their understanding of the region is very good, and the villagers also know very well what An Yeung can do and cannot do.
Very good. Thank you very much. Is there any other question, please?
Just one question. I've noticed the bridges are small, and is there a limit to the size of the project? Because the mode of transportation there is mostly by motorcycles, and there's a limit in terms of how much you can load in a motorcycle. So are the bridges always just small that for your projects?
Yes, the road is very small. It's about 1 meter, 1.5 meter of the wide. Because in local areas, in rural areas, there are not too much people live around there. So they just need the small road or width. That's enough for them. If the local government have the land to contribute something about for that area, so they could invest to build the bigger thing, the bigger road, the bigger bit. But with our project, we just support for small things, for the small road, small width. That's very, very important for the local people.
But you see, the local people, they have to contribute 2/3 or 3/4 of the cost. So actually, they want small roads and small bridges, but the government has decided recently that it should be at least 2.5 meters wide for road safety. And the farmers are not so happy because it's a bigger budget for them to cover.
Yeah, so what's the capacity of the bridge? 1 buffalo, 2 buffaloes? I just try to think of what's the maximum weight it can carry.
No car, just motorcycle with a load. I suppose probably 500 kilos maximum.
So a buffalo, maybe 200, 250 kilos can cross?
Well, I suppose the buffalo do not need the bridge. Huh? They can cross by themselves.
Yeah.
What is very interesting is that actually, as an NGO, we are not very interested in building roads and bridges. And you could say, well, what is a small NGO doing with infrastructure? But this is because the government has limited resources, like Min said. The government will concentrate on the big ones, big roads, big bridges. But within the villages, the many canals and arms of the delta, difficult to cross. And so this is the responsibility of the villagers themselves. So they insisted, when we started the project, they insisted that we should help them to make bridges. And so we asked them, okay, well, what will be your contribution? And they said, well, maybe 2/3 or 3/4 of the cost. So we were very impressed, by their capacity. And after a while, we observed that actually when there is a bridge, they can save so much money. Instead of making a long detour, they can just cross the bridge with their motorcycle. And so they sell their crop at a much better price. And whatever they need to buy, they can buy from the market and not from the merchant coming by boat. So they can bargain always for the good price. So we observed that their income, actually, when there is a bridge, their income increases by almost 50%.
Wow, that's great. That's a very good project.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about the partnership between An Yeung and Mékong Plus. How it work together?
when I arrived in Vietnam in '93 as a foreign NGO, I was very interested to work with local NGOs because I know very well that people from Europe, they will come and go, and nothing will last forever. So I was looking for local NGOs but could not find any. At that time, the Communist Party was very strict. It's still very strict today, but it was not possible to find local NGOs. So it took us 10 years to set up the first local NGO. And then An Giang came second after 12 or 13 years. So for us, it is very important because now, we have a team with Min, Chuk, Shang, and they will understand the local situation much better, and they will last also longer than myself and then Mékong Plus.
So the Mékong Plus support, what is the Mékong Plus role in order to support An Giang? It means you buy the product or what? I still not very clear yet.
No. Okay, Mékong Plus is the international NGO. Okay, so we initially we build the team, then the team will localize and become a local NGO, and Mékong Plus still continues with funding. But we encourage An Giang, the local NGO, to find its own funding also, so that they are not totally dependent on Mékong Plus. Okay, so increasingly today, more than 2/3 of the funding is actually directly going to An Giang and not depending on Mékong Plus. So they become more and more independent and strong, and they can have their own ideas. If they don't like me, if they want to fight with me, it's okay. They can still run their organization and do their project. Okay, now then you are talking about selling the products. So Mékong Quilt is different from Mékong Plus. Mékong Quilt is a social enterprise. In Vietnam, the NGO, local or international, all the same, we are not allowed to sell any product. You don't have permission to sell any handicraft. So we were forced to set up a local enterprise that we named Mékong Quilt. And Mékong Quilt, to have less problems with the police and the local authorities, etc., actually belongs to the local NGO, not to Mékong Plus, because Mékong Quilt like this is 100% Vietnamese social enterprise, and so it attracts less attention from the local authorities.
So I want to mention something about Mékong Plus and An Giang. So because Mékong Plus is the main partner of An Giang, and every month we also have the meeting together to discuss about the results of the month, and Mékong Plus also is advisor for An Giang. So when we need to build something, so we also ask some advice from Mékong Plus also. And besides Mékong Plus, An Giang also has the board of advisor from university in Mekong Delta, and some I don't remember this English. Some men, they already work in An Giang and then they stop and they have good experience, and that time they also give some advice for An Giang. So we very thankful for all the support from them. So Mékong Plus also.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minh. I have another question relating to revenue stream of An Giang. So if you don't mind, what are the main revenue stream to An Giang, and how can you sustain An Giang organization with that revenue?
So when you can search us from the website with An Giang Hậu Giang or An Giang Center It's easy to find. We also put on Google Maps our office in Mékong.
I mean revenue stream here mean the money, the how we say that, the income of Ánh Dương that we call revenue streams. It mean the main source of revenue. Because in order to sustain the organization, you need to earn money. And where is the money come from to Ánh Dương organization? One part is I understand that one part you will get the money from Mékong Plus, but 2/3 you need to generate your own income. Where that income come from?
We organize many activities to raise funds from Vietnam and from overseas, mainly from our brand from France, Belgium. Some brand of Benin also introduce some brands to us. So beside that, we also from the website for some organizations and some funds also have some call for from their website. So we approve on their website and also have some meeting with them to raise funds. We also organize some raise fund events for that. For example, every before 2019, we also organize many tours for visitors. So that time, when they come with us, they visit us and they also give us some funds to organize activities of Ánh Dương. And then when they come back to the country, they also help to raise funds to support us again. So there are many ways. We also apply from some company from Vietnam. For example, if we need we need funds for scholarship, we also write to some company. They have take care of children, so they have interest with our activity. So then they will apply. Then they will support to us many ways.
So it's me the income mainly come from the donors, and another is you create kind of the activities for individual or for visitor to visit Mékong Plus in order to get money.
Yes.
Yes, you're right. You are right that it's a fragile situation for many social organizations. And Jung has about 10 different funders. So missing one is a big problem, but at least it will not die because they have about 10 different funders. Okay, so this is the main source. Now another source has been mentioned on the Mekong bike tours. Every year, and Jung welcome about 100, 150 visitors from Europe, and each visitor contribute about 500 euro. They tour the project and they make a donation. Okay. Now, because of the pandemic, we lost donors and we lost the visitors. So big issue. But the board in Europe was actually good, smart enough that about 2 years ago, they decided that Vietnam is a growing power. It's more and more affluent people within Vietnam. So we should start raising funds from within Vietnam and from within Asia. So we spend now quite a lot of time with, wealthy people in Vietnam, business companies, etc., who have their CSR, their social responsibility, and so this is a growing source, but it's still, just a few percentage points. It's very, very small still. Another source is that each team now has a responsibility every month to raise funds. So the staff, they will contact their family, their friends, local officials, etc., directly to support specific cases like, very, very poor people, sick people, etc., to collect donation from within their own personal network. And finally, we are using also a crowdfunding platform, Give Asia, which is based in Singapore. And so we are uploading cases, and so people can make donations through this platform. So it's not big compared to the funds we get from Europe, but it's increasing. And I think altogether, during the last 12 months or so, it must be about less than 10% of funding from within Asia.
So normally, how much fund you can obtain per year for Ánh Dương?
The budget of Anh Dương, well, I think Min and Chuk could answer this more precisely, but it's about $400,000.
Chúc ơi, em xác nhận phải cái tiền hàng năm của anh Dương đó.
Mình. Alo. Alo.
Cái chi phí hàng năm của anh Dương đó mình.
Chi phí, tổng chi phí. Ok. Khoảng 4 tỷ á. Chi phí á.
Hơn.
Chi phí tổng á, còn hộ khó khăn khoảng 2 tỷ nữa đó Việt Nam.
Không, tất cả.
Tất cả khoảng 6 tỷ 8, 7 tỷ trung bình á, trung bình một năm.
About $300,000.
Yeah.
So that $300,000 you need to acquire from 10 different sources. Is there any income which Ánh Dương can generate or can create by yourself, or you depend everything on all other donors and other organizations?
Well, the credit program, maybe Min can explain for the credit program, and then I will mention Mékong Quilt. Min?
So yes, the income for Ánh Dương. So we also have some interest for microcredit program. So this very less interest. So every year, Chúc ơi, hàng năm thì cái tiền mà chi phí hoạt động của cộng tác viên á, chi phí mà lãi hỗ giúp khó khăn khoảng nhiêu?
Chỉ trả tiền cho cộng tác viên thì khoảng 480 đến 500 triệu.
Còn phải lãi suất tín dụng.
Lãi suất đó thì có năm nay là khoảng trên 100 triệu, còn mấy năm trước thì khoảng cỡ 70 triệu trở lại. Tại năm nay mình cho cái số dòng nó nhiều hơn á, thì khoảng trên 100 triệu.
So 50,000 euros,
about 5,000. No, 5,000. About 5,000, 5,000 euro, 4,000 euro roughly. So it's very small because why? Because we target the extremely poor, and during the first few cycles it's zero interest free. Okay. So one other source of income for Anh Dương is Mékong Quilt. So till before the pandemic, it was quite a good source. But when the pandemic hit, then Mékong Quilt lost a lot of money. So actually, it's a drain of resources, taking money away from Anh Dương just to keep Mékong Quilt alive, and because we hope that after 1 or 2 more years, Mékong Quilt will be profitable again.
Thank you very much. And so, if there any question from the crowd, you feel free to ask. Because I should add the question to fill the gap, not that I add the question and then not let other people to ask question.
Do not hesitate to give questions for us.
Yeah, please keep it in mind. Thank you very much. And now I have another question relating to Ánh Dương value proposition. What is Ánh Dương value proposition?
Em biết cái này không? Giá trị của Anh Dương á.
Can you explain? Can you expand your question?
Yeah, for example, in order to make sure that other donors, they're willing to pay for Ánh Dương. So what is the value you create and to make the donor feel very comfortable with in order to how we say to donate to Ánh Dương, and what value you create to the farmer? We already saw that you create like supporting them by providing a job for making queues and also to build bridge. So that is your main value proposition, or what else do you have in order to make sure that your organization is a very good organization?
And
Cái value để nói nha mình.
Nói đây.
I think so interesting our process because we have study focus on the and we decide in the Pacific we have three main không biết nói làm sao rồi cái ba cái lợi thế and local participant yeah. And we decide we decide the model with low cost, so everybody and poor people can participate.
So in Ánh Dương, we have the main value is the humanity. We also have the trust from the community. So every activities from Ánh Dương, we survey very careful of the beneficiary. Any donation from friends, from organization, it will be held, will be very efficient. We always chose the right way to support. We always chose the right case to support. For example, if we choose one family to support the scholarship for children, so no one can complain. No one can say that, oh, it's not right case. So at Ánh Dương, we also had three criteria. The first is we choose the poorest to support. The second is we decide the low cost model for the local people because they are the poor, so they cannot use the money to invest for the high cost model to do. They also do not capacity to do that. The third is we need the participate from the beneficiary. When they participate with us, they contribute with us, so they will handful from that, from the support. They will think the result is from us, not from Ánh Dương, not from themselves, but from all of us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minh.
Okay, can I
yes,
give an input from Mékong Plus? I think we have high efficiency, high impact. We estimate that Ánh Dương has every year about 100,000 direct beneficiaries, be it school children, farmers, women, farmers, etc. Local participation, as Minh mentioned, every year we have, the request from the people was that every child should have access to school. So this is the request coming from the villagers. So we ask them, what are you going to do to contribute to this? And so every year we organize a solidarity run. People run a few kilometers. And every year we have about, in the Ánh Dương area, about 60,000 people running. Not a long distance. And some people don't run, they just walk. But they make a contribution of about $20,000 given by the villagers themselves to the scholarship fund. So this is, high local participation is a good recipe for high impact. Now, if you look at the microcredit program, An Yeung spends about every year for one household about 75 euro. This is additional capital, training, coaching, follow-up, bookkeeping, etc. And the income, average impact on a poor household is about 225 euro. So it's more than 3 times the cost borne by An Yeung. So you can say, well, this is good for the people, it's not so good for An Yeung. Well, the goal of An Yeung is not to become rich, is to make the people self-sufficient and sustainable. So I think this is what the people like with Mékong Plus or An Yeung, the different partners, is the very down-to-earth, very practical approach. No big office, no air conditioning, no car. We don't have any office in Ho Chi Minh City or in Hanoi. Everything is field-based.
Very good. And then my last question relating to An Yeung. Is there any other organization similar to An Yeung existing in the region, or you are the only one who running such kind of program?
Sorry, I'm not focused on your question.
Okay. Is there any other or similar organization running or supporting the poor people in the region? Or only An Yeung is the organization, yes, who doing that job?
That's one name.
Trả lời nhanh cái vị trí đó. Hỏi ở Mékong Plus.
Ở Hậu Giang thôi. Ý tôi câu hỏi là ở Hậu Giang có tổ chức nào giống mình hay không? Thì theo em biết là hình như là chưa có, đúng không?
In Hậu Giang, you have a few small organizations, but they just specialize in one type of activity. Like one organization will build schools. Another organization will focus on health education and so on. But they are all very small and they are not long-term. You know, the approach of An Yeung, like for Mékong Plus, is we don't go away. As long as the people contribute their share to the project, as long as the partnership is good, we will stay. And so An Yeung has been operating in that area 18 years already. So there is no other organization with this kind of profile.
So as Vietnam mentioned, there's some organizations work in the same areas with An Yeung, but they have the different mission, different vision from An Yeung. So our mission is to help the poorest to improve their capacity, to improve their life, and to keep the children at school, and to help the women raise their voice in the community. There are some organizations have the same work with An Yeung, but it's smaller, and just for a short time, maybe 3 or 4 years until now. But An Yeung is the longest organization work in Mekong Delta, in Hậu Giang province. And we also have the commitment with local government to support the community. And at An Yeung, the local government also suggest An Yeung expand our project to another village, to another district in Hậu Giang. Until now, we work in 5 villages, but there are 2 villages we just expand in 2017 until now. That's 5 years for the new village. And the local government also asked to expand our budget to another, but we have limits. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I will give the floor back to the crowd. Is there any other question? You please raise your hand. Well, this is the real social entrepreneur. a real social enterprise, which will help you a lot for your project.
Yeah, I would have a question. I'm not quite sure if you answered it already. I'll just pose the question again is, how did you gain the trust of the farmers and all the people you wanted to aid? Did you have any specific like outreach program to make them aware of you and your intentions? And how did you gain their trust to partner up with your social enterprise and actually be part of it?
This is very intelligent question for us. I have in mind that I want to mention something about our trust. So from our resource. So when we support something to local communities, we always choose the right case to support. From the scholarship, from the microcredit, from the great job for women, anything we survey many times and we consider many times to decide to support them. And when we support them, so they use the donation very well and they have chance and they have some good chance to their life. So by thanks to that chance, many people, many villages, the local authorities, they trust our project very much. So when we do something, they do not ask many times. They just when we suggest something, they just say approve. So many times like that. So we think we have made the trust from the local government very much because we work from our heart. Everything we do, we follow the teach of Lao Tzu. So when we come to the people, we love them. We love them. We learn from the people. We start from what they know. We build from what they have. So then when they complete something, they will say, we did it. So that time they did it, not we did it. So the resource will be sustainable when our project reaches the area to the local people also continue their work. I think that is the good success of our project. So that's why the local organization, the local authority also believe on our activity.
If I may add, An Giang is village-based. You know, most NGOs are actually city-based, and they come for a few days and go back. They come in air-conditioned car. They have a different lifestyle. When you look at the social workers from those NGOs, you know, you definitely see immediately they are not part of the community. So An Giang is really according to the local standard. And whatever they do, it's with a high people's participation. Actually, you know, we never asked to run the scholarship program. It was not our idea. It came from the villagers themselves. Okay, same for the bridges. You know, it was their idea. And immediately what we questioned is, okay, what will be your participation? And as long as the people participate, you know, in a very high way, like the bridges, you know, 2/3 of the cost is coming from the people themselves, not from An Giang. So they have this strong ownership. And when it was funny when they, you know, the one visitor was asking the villagers, so what about this bridge, etc. And the villagers, well, completely forgot to mention Mékong Plus or An Giang. And because they felt it was their bridge. And so this was made us actually quite happy because you have this ownership, which is exactly the goal of the project. I don't know if we answered the question.
No, it did. Thank you very much for your answer or answers.
Thank you. Candy, could you please speak your question?
Yes. Clearly. Hello.
Candy, yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah. I would like to ask about your enterprise legality status in Vietnam, and this is my first question. And I also want to know, like, do you do the impact measurement in your social enterprise? Like, how can you measure the impact on the society? Yeah, that's those questions.
Okay. The enterprise, with two shareholders, the two local NGOs. Anyung is one, and the other NGO is the second shareholder. Okay, so it's registered as a private enterprise, and recently, about 2 years ago, in Vietnam, they created the status of social enterprise. But till now, we did not see benefits from this new status. It's a lot of paperwork. There is a lot of suspicion. It's it's a bureaucratic hassle actually to manage the social enterprise, and we pay taxes just like any other business. Okay, and one challenge, big challenge, is for actually the quilters, the women workers. The government is asking them to have a labor contract, but these women, they don't want to be employees. They want to be farmers with complementary income, kind of a part-time job, and they don't want to leave the farm and to become factory workers. No, therefore it's a bit difficult for them to have labor contracts, social insurance, etc. So we have to, the local government is always very happy, congratulations, etc. But at the same time, the structure, the legal structure in Vietnam is really a big challenge. The other thing about the impact, well, we can see today with the pandemic, that the women, they have lost much. We came down from more than 300, 200, and today about 20 or 25 quilters only, because we cannot sell more products. So the women have lost more than half their income. So this is a big issue for them, because many are actually single mothers, meaning there is no support, financial support from the husband. They have children to take care of, education, healthcare. So for many, they are in a quite desperate situation. So right now we are looking for other opportunities. As soon as the pandemic started, we started producing masks for export and for the local market. So this was a big deal, a big market. We'll send several tens of thousands of masks to Europe. And today we have a new venture. There is a Danish company in Vietnam. They make furniture for export, and they have a lot of waste, a lot of wasted fabrics, tons of fabrics wasted every month. So this is not good for their image, is not good for the environment, etc. So they approached us and they said, okay, can you take this waste and can you make something with these fabrics? And so we are making cushions for them, which they will buy from us and sell to their customers. So it's a win-win situation. So it's it's not big, but we are looking at every possible option to keep Mékong Quilt afloat till this bloody pandemic is over. Did I answer your question?
I see. Thank you for your answer. However, can I ask more about how can you connect to these women? Like, yeah, because you create the jobs for them, right? And you mentioned about the women who are doesn't like they have a child. Like, which channel do did you connect with them to provide and to solve that social problem?
Right. Well, you should understand that Anyung is not about quills. It's not about mushroom or about pigs. It's about people. And we have this integrated approach that we think that everything is important. It's not that because you are a quilter that your children are not going to school. And it's not because you're a quilter that you don't grow vegetables, so that you don't have a latrine. So everything is very much integrated. And for many years before, all the quilters were trained to raise chicken, ducks, grow vegetables, etc. Because we know very well that nothing is certain forever. And for how many years we can sell quills, nobody knows. So okay, it's a big issue, but today we still try to support them in different ways. Some funders and some customers of Mékong Quilt actually said, okay, we are really sorry for Mékong Quilt, what can we do? And so they provided some support, financial support, like health insurance for the quilters who have had lost their job, scholarship for the children, etc. So we try to help them as much as we can. Of course, we cannot help everyone 100%, but we, with whatever resources we can gather.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there any other question?
Okay, so
If
maybe
not,
yeah, then
please,
maybe
Mr.
we can
Bennett.
show you a short clip about Mekong bike tours.
Thank
Is
you
that okay?
very much.
Yeah?
Yes, please. Yes.
And we hope that in the future we can organize many trips like this to take you visit many places in Mekong Delta and get and you the richer experience on our do. And we hope that you can understand more about our job. If you can come back with us in really and welcome. Yeah. When I hope that when epidemic over, so many visitors, many friends will come with us to explore more. Thank you very much for visiting with us. Thank you and see you again.
It's good that there's a big range of activity and you see the women working on the different products and then the men designing and building the bridges. So I think it's nice that there's a big range of activity covering the whole community.
Has benefited from the microfinance project to get some land to grow vegetables and supply their family, and they've increased their income from $17 to $33 per month per person, which is amazing to see that these projects really have an outcome and that we invest in something that's really beneficial to the community. And we visited the family and we saw them and we spoke to the girl who speaks a little bit of English. That was also really cool to see that the kids at school learn English and we can communicate with them a bit.
Oh well, it's amazing. It's I've never really been to any country like this, so it was a surprise. It was a good surprise when we arrived, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks here.
I think the food's really good. Also, just the countryside and the landscape's really, really nice.
Obviously, I'm definitely going to be recommending Vietnam to my friends. I mean, it's been great, and I think it's going to be great. The whole trip is going to be great. So, yeah, definitely, I'm gonna tell them all about it, and I'm telling them to come and visit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what? Chat.
Thank you so much for your wishes in our project.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bennett, Miss Sang, Miss Chi, Mr. Ming, and everybody who's supporting us today to show your social enterprise and also your social project is very touching, at least for me, to see what you are doing, how you're supporting people. And I also hope very much that the student is also can take knowledge and also encourage to create your own social project. And if there is any other question from the crowd, we can close the visit today. Tomorrow we'll continue to hear the sharing from the social engineer from Switzerland, and then you can learn a little bit more about the project and also how they're doing their job in order to create a better life for other people. And here is the email address of Mr. Bernard. In case that you would like to have any direct contact, you feel free to contact him. And Mr. Bernard is also one opportunity ball to your final presentation on Friday. Thank you very much. And I wish you everybody a good time and stay safe. Is there any question, Miss Sam?
So thank you very much for taking time.
I would like to say.
And yes, can continue.
Yes, please, Mr. Ming, go ahead.
So I hope that after this meeting, you have good knowledge about our activity as well in Vietnam. So I hope in the future, when the pandemic go away, so we can come to Vietnam, visit our activity in real. So I hope everyone will have healthy, good healthy and success in life and keep in touch with us in the future. And Sang, do you want to say something? Sang?
No, just thank you everybody, and this is the first time we do the virtual visit. So if we did something wrong, we follow us and give us some comments to do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Sang. Thank you very much. So we can stop it here, and hopefully that we have a chance to work with each other in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See you again.
And all, yes, and all team now you can prepare them yourself to work in the evening with your teamwork. And if there any question, anything, you can still email me, Corinne, and of course you please work closely with your facilitator. Thank you very much, and thank you, Peter and Anna Marie, for your time. Gary and Seri and all our facilitator, which I couldn't name all here. Thank you, and I will see you on Friday, Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
When you hear about the student project, they will present their project, and with all your input today, I think is a very valuable knowledge to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you very much, and stay safe, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.